Welcome to Theodore Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State University in a key SIAC battle. What you see before you now, Clark Atlanta, the visiting Panthers, taking on the Tigers of Savannah State. Clark had won the toss and deferred, so they will be kicking. Joining me, two-time Super Bowl champion and proud graduate of the Fort Valley State University, Tyrone Poole. And Tyrone, wonderful afternoon for football. But this is also a telltale sign of what direction these teams are going, because both of them are trying to rebound from a loss.
And also, I got to throw in there HBCU Hall of Famer. So, two-time Super Bowl champion and HBCU Hall of Famer. That's why we're here watching HBCU football now, Savannah State and Clark Atlanta. But, yes, both of these teams are, looking for that momentum. You have Savannah State sitting at 1-1, and Clark Atlanta still looking for their first win. So hopefully the Panthers will have an opportunity to get a victory and get in the winning column today.
And for Clark Atlanta, they started off the season taking on a SIAC foe in Kentucky State, but it was a non-conference matchup. They lost to Kentucky State 34-20. They went into conference play taking on Fort Valley State and got shellacked 40-17, and now they take on Savannah State, who defeated Southeastern of NAIA down in Florida. And then they took on Bethune-Cookman, kept it close, but was on the losing end of that battle as we see the Tigers starting to take the field. For head coach Aaron Shelton, the head coach for Savannah State, he is trying to get his team poised to compete with Benedict College to try to upend the reigning SIAC champion. And for Clark Atlanta, the veteran, Willie Slater, the head coach, he is really trying to right the program and get them on the right track.
Yeah, we've had an opportunity to spend plenty of time with Coach Slater when he was at Tuskegee, and you wasn't going to get too much out of Coach Slater, but you were going to get a lot out of his players when they went onto the field. So he's bringing his magic, hopefully, to Clark Atlanta to give these Panthers an understanding of what winning is.
Once again, a beautiful afternoon for football here as the players make it onto the field. Gorgeous Theodore A. Wright Stadium was renovated and expanded, and they put in the sprint turf, and is one of the wonderful venues in the SIAC. Some people would say it may be one of the prettiest venues around. I know Benedict and the Fort Valley State may have something to say about that, but also, one of the best stadium collections, I feel, in all of Division II. So we're getting ready for kickoff. And Clark Atlanta has decided to defer and will kick. And Fernando Lobo will do the kicking. And they will be in the white with the red pants. And we'll see Savannah State in their home blue and orange. About 85 degrees here in Savannah, Georgia. Not a cloud in the sky. There was rain in the Atlanta area earlier today. As Lobo is ready to kick. And we are underway. Nice deep kick goes into the back of the end zone for a touchback. And the quarterback that'll be taking center stage, Jaden Adams, 29 of 63, passing, 1 touchdown. But he also can run the football, 13 carries for 37 yards. You'll see some RPO. You'll see some strong running games. They average on the line about 6'2", 295 pounds. And now it looks like we had a penalty, and they'll have to do a re-kick. And I see the laundry all the way on the 37-yard line of Clark Atlanta. So it'll be up to Lobo to kick a deep one again. And the infraction was on the kicking team. It looks like they had a little bit too much exuberance and got a little bit ahead of Lobo, the kicker, for an offside. And now kicking from his 30, Lobo for Clark Atlanta. He gets his mulligan, and this one is short. Savannah State will take it at their own 10-yard line. Good return there, keeping his feet, and great field position for the Tigers. Good return there by Savannah State. Joseph Hampton on the return.
Yeah, James, you know, normally when you do a re-kick, you're normally going to pick up more yards. That's why whenever the penalty's on the kicking team, the receiving team make those guys run down again. It takes a little bit more energy, but a great middle return by Savannah State there got them close to midfield.
So now 1st and 10 for Savannah State from their own 45. They send Roberts in motion. And the handoff goes nowhere fast. Nathaniel Harriet on the carry.
It's a great job by the defensive line of Clark Atlanta. You saw with the short by Savannah State, they tried to come and create a kick out, but the strength and the ability of the Panthers to get off the ball actually penetrated a little deep into the backfield and stopped that play.
Keeping it is Adams. Adams flicks it out. Good pass over to Mitchell. And Mitchell able to get some positive yards enough for, looks like an apparent first down, but they'll say he was out of bounds about a yard short.
You know, that is a nice little setup right there. You got the quarterback that has the option to actually throw the ball or run the ball, and it kind of puts the defense in a bind. If you attack the quarterback, he's going to throw it out to the wide receiver. If you don't attack the quarterback, he's going to keep it and run it. On that play, threw it to the wide receiver, picked up positive yards.
3rd down and 1. Sending Roberts in motion. Adams getting some pressure. Now he finds Deshaun Mitchell again, and Mitchell is off to the races. 20, 10, 5, and he's knocked out of bounds. A touchdown-saving tackle. Once again, big number 17, 6'3", 210 senior Deshaun Mitchell on the reception, his 7th of the year.
Well, it's always been said, if you're going to win football games, you've got to create big plays. If you don't want to lose football games, do not give up big plays. And on that particular play there, the Panthers defense gives up a big play, and that's a tough route, tough play to cover because it's a hustle play. You got to defeat your blocks, and the quarterback was able to get the ball to the wide receiver and picked up big yards.
Keeping it is Adams. Adams finds the wide side into the end zone, touchdown, and just like that, Savannah State puts 6 on the board.
The Panthers did not have an edge player. That would make that play so successful, to actually walk in. But the Panthers are going to have to go back on defense, and whenever the edge is attacked, you have to have someone there. That's why they call set the edge. And on that particular play, Panthers had no one there to stop the quarterback. Easy walk-in score for Savannah.
Kenneth Lockhart for the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. 13:08 left to play here in the opening quarter, and just like that, Savannah State marches down the field, takes advantage of a good return using a short field, and they're able to get on the board first. 4 plays, 55 yards, capped off by a short touchdown run by Jaden Adams and a point after attempt by Lockhart. Makes the score 7-0.
You know, it all started with that middle return that put the offense in short field position in a couple of plays on receiver screens, and they're up. Let's see what Clark Atlanta can they answer.
Short kick. And this return goes nowhere fast, but second and third effort gets them out to close to the 30-yard line. And a good return by the Panthers.
Yeah, a gang of blue shirts. And that's what kickoff is all about, James. You want to go down, and they just scored, so everybody's fired up, and family members in the stands, and a lot of blue hats, blue jerseys around that ball. So that's not what you want to see if you're Clark Atlanta. That means you're getting pushed around. But Clark Atlanta offense comes out on the field, and let's see if they can answer that offensive score by the Savannah State Tigers.
All right, Andrew Banks will take the field at quarterback. They have a 2-quarterback selection between Heath Williams and Banks. Banks 9 of 22, no touchdowns, but 3 interceptions. High snap. They're going to try to keep it on the ground. They give it to Daquan Kinsey, and he's basically been their all-everything offense so far this season.
You know, I will say this now. I know Clark wants to run the ball, but if they can get the quarterback to get the ball, I believe, to Newsom. Newsom is a wide receiver, actually ranked 4th in the SIAC in receiving. So if they can get him going, then you get the running game going, and you can mix play action and open up and get behind those linebackers, and that'll help Clark Atlanta a lot.
Banks looking to throw. They do throw a screen out. Doesn't go anywhere fast. Davion Newsom, I think that's the young man you were talking about.
That's my guy. You got to get him into the game.
Kurt Smith
get him into
on
the game.
Tackle.
Get him going. Get the fear. Make the defense have to adjust, because if you're just going to run the ball and you don't throw the ball, then the defense is just going to lock down on your running game. They're going to play an 8-man box, 8-man front. It's going to be hard to run against that.
And we do have a player down for Savannah State. He's going to help himself off the field, and that's Deion Bell. Leads the team in tackles for a loss with 3. And the officials are trying to get Clark Atlanta's players back on the field. Was not an injury timeout, and they have started the clock.
They got enough time on the play clock, 35 seconds on the play clock, so they have enough time to get the right snap, make sure everybody gets it. You got the quarterback looking at his armband. You love to see that offense line run up. Got another flag on the field.
Looks like they had an illegal substitution, and that'll move them back 5. And I think because they did huddle on the sideline, then they came back and huddled again, and they broke the huddle. So when they huddled on the sideline, they should have went straight to the line. Personnel change now for the Panthers. Trying to find some consistency offensively. Opportunity to throw, incomplete. And once again, trying to find Newsom, but good coverage there by Savannah State. Creary on the coverage.
And he's actually covering the number 4 guy in the SIAC, Newsom. So that's pretty good. 3 and out by Savannah State's defense. Actually, the punt should give them good field position. And with the dynamic play of their offense last series, you got to bet and believe that they're coming back out with a lot of momentum. And it's going to be interesting to see what type of energy they have coming back on the field for their second possession.
High snap. They're able to get it off. Carr back deep. Fair catch, and a good catch there by Brent Carr for Savannah State, wonderful field position again from their own 36. That's where we'll find them. We'll take a break, come back. We'll see if Savannah State can add on to their 7-point lead. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN. Stay tuned.
John, what made you become a Cricket Campus ambassador?
Do tell.
I live to network. HBCU's all about that. The keyword being network.
Oh, like a certain network that has speedy 5G and is a proud sponsor of HBCUs.
I see you could take a hint.
I can drop a hint too, Don.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just a touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
Savannah State starting in their second drive with a 7-0 lead. Trying to keep it on the ground is Adams. He stumbles but keeps his feet. Able to get the first down in the Clark Atlanta territory. Down at the 48-yard line.
Moving the sticks. That's what that's called, James. Moving the sticks. You see those people on the sideline taking those sticks and moving them down. That means a first down. So, again, Savannah State, they came out, scored on their first drive. Clark Atlanta kind of gave up a few big plays. You're hoping, as a defensive coordinator for the Panthers, that the defense can slow the Tigers' offense down. But that's yet to be seen.
1st and 10 now for the Tigers. Adams looking to throw, has time. Going to throw a floater and incomplete.
You know, I have to give shouts out to some of the Panthers players for Clark Atlanta, Cam Ivory and Dylan Denard and Poole, and you got Julian Little. You know, I know those guys very well, so give them a shout out and all of the Panther Nation.
Very good, and I know Panther Nation appreciates that, and those players will appreciate it when they get a chance to watch it again. 2nd and 10. Adams going deep, and no flag thrown because the ball was really out of reach of both receiver and defender.
He just had a little too much strength on that pass there. Kind of threw it past the wide receiver and the defensive back. In a situation like that, quarterback just lobbed the ball up. And in that particular position there, the defensive back was not looking at the ball. So when you just lob it up in the air, you kind of give your receiver an opportunity to judge the ball. I know it's a lot of sunlight on that side of the field as well. So, but either way, Clark Atlanta, you're happy that it's incomplete.
Joseph Hampton in at running back for Savannah State, 3rd down and 10. Adams looking to throw. Once again, trying to find a receiver, and does. Connection made into the end zone. Touchdown, Tigers. Magic happens again.
Yeah, Carr, 6'3", got behind the defense. Big play again if you're the Panthers defense. 3 big plays in 2 series, James. That's not what you want to do. You would not stay in the game giving up big plays. That's easy touchdowns.
His 7th reception of the year.
He scores so much he forget he got to go onto the field and actually do the PAT. So great play by Carr. Great look by the quarterback to see Carr wide open.
Lockhart with the point after attempt. Good. We'll take a break. And quick 2 touchdown strikes by Savannah State. And they're up 14-0. Stay tuned. SIAC football right here on ESPN. Once again, another easy drive for Savannah State as they have a 14-0 lead. James Red along with Tyrone Poole here at Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State. SIAC football right here on ESPN Plus. And right now, Clark Atlanta's trying to work themselves out of a hole. And that will be a touchback. Once again, good kick there by Kenneth Lockhart. It'll be spotted at the 25-yard line. So, Tyrone, if you're Clark Atlanta at this point, do you try to pull out all the stops and try to be creative offensively, or you try to stick to the game plan?
Yeah, it's too early into the game. Anything can happen. Your defense can pick up a fumble and return it for a touchdown, pick 6. It's only 9:51 into the first quarter, so you got to stay with the game plan. Stick with the game plan. Just tell everybody to calm down. I've been part of games where teams jumped out on us, and you calm down, stick to the game plan, and you end up getting yourself back into the game. So Clark Atlanta, the same thing can happen with them.
Keeping it with the option. They do go with the pitch to Kinsey, but Kinsey goes nowhere fast. Quickly wrapped up and brought down, and he may have been tackled for a loss.
Yeah, I think Banks could have kept that ball a little bit longer. I think he could have just taken advantage of that opportunity to squeeze between Savannah's defense, but he elected to pitch the ball. But I'm pretty sure he himself, Banks, probably if he could do it again, probably would have kept that ball and turned it up, went north and south, going north, and actually picked up positive yards for the Panthers offense.
Drumming in on that tackle for Savannah State. Trying to do something is Banks. Banks, wow, look at the legs on Banks. He's able to turn a negative into a positive. Gets out to about the 42-yard line, pulling half of the defense with him, and he loses. Did he lose his helmet? No, he kept his helmet on.
But the good thing about that, Banks made amends of the previous play. He came back. He must have heard me talking. Scrambled a little bit, picked up a first down. So not only Banks going to have to get the Panthers offense back into the game with his legs, but he's going to have to get the ball in the air. So a great mixture anytime, a great mixture of pass and run opens up the offense. It makes the defense relax so much. But great play by Banks, and let's see if the Panthers can keep this drive going.
1st and 10 out to the 42-yard line. Fake it to Kinsey, going down on the sideline, and once again finds your favorite guy right there, Devon Newsom.
Devon Newsom, he's not ranked high and in the top 5 of the SIAC for nothing. This guy is a real good receiver, and if the actual Panthers offense can move him around, put him in motion, try to get those mixed matches and get the ball into his hands, it'll make it easier for that Panthers offense to go up and down this field on Savannah State's defense.
Young sophomore Banks, young man out of Atlanta, Mays High School, gives it over to Kinsey, and Kinsey goes nowhere fast. This time he's wrapped up by the leading tackler, Tavar Bruton, for Savannah State. He has 18 tackles on the year so far. Just a sophomore, number 24, stepping up big for his team. The young man from Savannah went to Island High School.
You know, Savannah State is pretty stout against the run. They're probably in the middle of the road when it comes to rankings in the SIAC, but they are pretty good. On the other hand, you got the Panthers. They're not really that good at running, but they're going to have to establish the run if they want to keep a balanced offense.
Into Savannah territory, keeping it on the ground. Kinsey finds some room on the outside, first down and more, pushed out of bounds at about the 27-yard line. Another first down for Clark Atlanta.
Great vision by Kinsey. The play was designed to go in between the tackle and guard. He saw again, just like when Savannah scored, there was no edge player. Here, Kinsey running the ball, saw that there was no edge player for the Savannah State defense, went to the left and picked up big yards for the Panthers running game.
Two-back set now for Clark Atlanta. Handoff again to Kinsey. He finds a hole, gets some positive yards before he's brought down, about a 4-yard gain.
A 4-yard gain is a very positive play in the running game for your offense. Now it's 2nd and 6, kind of gives the offensive coordinator flexibility to go with a run or a pass. So it's going to be interesting to see what Clark does here. Again, I like my guy Newsom. Get him the ball, put him in motion. Let's see if they elect to come with a pass to try to keep that offense balanced and keep Savannah State defense off balance.
They move Newsom to the near side. Banks looking to throw. Finds a safety valve in Kinsey. Kinsey has enough for the first down. Loses the football, but falls on top of it. Good Johnny on the spot there for DeJuan Kinsey.
Almost a little disaster on just an incidental play. Kinsey faking the defensive guy out. The defensive guy knows he's not going to make the tackle, just reaches his arms out there and just so luckily hit the ball. But again, I like what Clark Atlanta is doing. They're balancing. Like you asked the question earlier, no, do not do anything different than what the game plan is. And looks like if the Panthers keep this going, they could cut this lead in half.
Ball now on the 14-yard line. Kinsey again falling forward, continuing to get positive yards. This time, Gary Davis in on the tackle, one of the young sophomore linebackers.
Now, James, you also mentioned, if you want to do any type of trickaroo, any type of trick plays, this is the area where you get those quarterback keepers and things like that, because when defenses get down here, more than likely they're going to end up playing a little bit of man-to-man, and really there's nobody eyeing the quarterback. So that's why when you get a good athletic quarterback in this area of the work that thing zone, it's we call the work that thing zone here, you got to work that thing. So Banks actually can do a little trickaroo down here for the Panthers offense.
Somebody moved for Clark Atlanta, and that'll move them back 5 to make it second down and long.
Now, this is what you don't want to do, is shoot yourself in the foot when you get down here in situations like this. You got to make it count, and penalties is the worst thing you could do. Now, I always like this area too, James, as far as for screens, screen plays, middle screens, a tight end screen. Again, defenses are playing more than likely a little bit of man-to-man, so you get an opportunity to catch them, not paying attention, and a little bit of screen. Receiver screen would even be good in this area. So be interested to see what they do here.
Martin and Newsom split out on the near side. Quick pass, incomplete. And this pass intended for Kendall Wembley.
Yeah, he was open. Banks did not set his feet. A ball sailed on him a little too far in front of the wide receiver, but the play was there. Banks just have to settle down, get his feet up under him, turn to the receiver, and deliver a great throw, and that could have been positive yards, possibly a touchdown for Clark Atlanta.
And when you say setting the feet for the quarterback, is it just a matter of not moving before you start your throwing process?
Just having a good base to be able to deliver the ball, good balanced base to deliver the football.
3rd down and 12 now for the Panthers. Quick pass, reception made, and just like that, Kinsey does enough to get inside the 5. 1st and goal now for the Panthers.
Great play. I like the play call. The play call, you push everybody up the field. You push out 4 verticals, and then you have the running back sitting there in that void, and nobody's open downfield. Dump it to the running back. And what makes that play work, again, the receivers have cleared out. Everybody's trying to protect the end zone, and there's only one person there to try to tackle that check down. Good elusiveness by the running back. Picks up a 1st down for Clark Atlanta.
1st and goal now for the Panthers. Under center is Banks. Banks gives it to Kinsey. Kinsey on the inside run. And enough for a touchdown, and just like that, the Panthers are in this ball game. Daquan Kinsey with his first touchdown of the game, and hey, 14-point deficit, don't count the Panthers out.
Yeah, whether it's Kinsey or that offensive line for Clark Atlanta, this is what we call goal line offense versus goal line defense, and you saw where Clark Atlanta just quick snap, handoff to the running back, Kinsey, along with the offensive line, pushes the Panthers into the end zone.
Heath Williams to hold. Lobo with the kick. It's up, and it is good. And with 2:17 left in the opening quarter, we have a football game, folks. 14-7 in favor of Savannah State, but Clark Atlanta has some momentum headed their way. So if you're Savannah State, Tyrone, how do you answer a score? Do you just say, okay, we're going to try to match your score for score?
Now you go back out, you say, boys, we got a ball game. So you got to just come back out. If you're the Panthers, if you're the Tigers, you want to make sure you get a good return on this kickoff. If you're the Panthers, the kickoff coverage team, you want to go down and make a big play, trap the Tigers in their side of the field, get your defense fired up, and you want your defense to come out and they got a little bit of momentum, get a 3 and out, and get the ball back to your offense. Again, if you're the Tigers, this is an opportunity to steal the momentum back with some type of big return here.
Hampton and Guyton back deep for Savannah State. Hampton will take it at his own 9-yard line. And Hampton is upended right there at the 20-yard line. Good open field tackle there by Clark Atlanta. They are showing out and showing up. Malik Jackson able to make that play, just a freshman.
Yeah, Hampton, I thought he was going to do a big field return, number 32 right there, but evidently he saw something short on the short side of the field, turned it up, but Clark Atlanta was there to shut it down.
It's only taken 8 plays for Savannah State to score 14 points.
Yeah, I saw coach. Somebody messed up over there. The head coach took his headset off, screaming. You know, when the head coach takes his headsets off, somebody's not doing what they're supposed to do.
And it took 11 plays for Clark Atlanta, going 79 yards to score their first touchdown. Trying to go, keeping it is Jaden Adams. Flag is thrown. This may all be coming back right there at the 21-yard line. Had enough for the first down on the keeper. Jaden Adams, about the 3rd leading rusher on the team.
You know, the most important play that I think on any drive is the first down. First down is the most important play, and then third down is the second most important play, because first down sets up what you're going to be able to do second down. So the more yards you can get on first down, it makes it easier to make a play call on second down, which usually sets you up for an easy and manageable third down. So now the Tigers have put themselves in a hole. Let's see if they can come back and create another big play on first down.
1st and 20 now for the Tigers. Adams, flare, and it's incomplete. Intended for Julian Roberts. Good coverage there by Cameron Ivey.
That's one of my guys I called out, Cam Ivory. You know, he's a good defensive back. Good defensive back. Great play by him. I thought maybe if he had seen the football, he probably could have got himself a tip and went into the end zone. But nevertheless, great read on the screen attempt by the Tigers. So, again, puts the Savannah State Tigers in a hole, 2nd and 20. So this is good for the Panthers defense.
Referees today are conferring. They're going to spot the ball. They had to move it back just a tad. And now we're ready to go. Less than 2 minutes here in the opening quarter. Adams getting some pressure. Throws a safety valve pass. And it is complete to Nasiah Harriet.
Well, I tell you what, that was a good play, good read by the Tigers offense. But again, number 4 for Savannah State, Carr, we called his name earlier. He was streaking down the field again. Possibly could have had another big play if the quarterback had time to keep his eyes downfield while he was looking to complete short passes. Let's see if the Panthers' defense can actually keep more of an eye on Carr.
3rd down now and 7. Fake it over to Harriet. Quick pass, reception made, and they found your guy, Carr. But he may be short of the first down, and he is. It'll bring up 4th down.
Yeah, that's how you want to keep Carr contained, number 4 right there. Keep him in front of you, not behind you, and tackle the catch. Tackle the catch. So the Panthers defense did what they were supposed to do. They come and force the Tigers offense to punt, and with the momentum, I'm pretty sure the Panthers offense, which is already down on the other end of the field, waiting to come onto the field, they are looking to continue the momentum and try to tie this game up.
Lockhart to punt for Savannah. Sort of kicks it sideways. And it will take a Savannah bounce and down inside the 40 at the 36-yard line.
You know, normally those side winder punters that run to the side and kick it, most of the time you're not going to get a good return if you're a punt return guy because the ball going to hit the ground.
9 seconds left. We'll have, looks like one more play before we end the quarter.
Let me ask you a question, James. Do you like the traditional punter where they snap it and then punt it, or do you like that punter where they catch it and run to the sideline and try to kick it as far as they can?
Well, those ones, you know, that I think they call those rugby style. I like the traditional but dynamic high leg lift.
Yeah.
Reggie Roby type of kick punter. Oh, yeah. Hang time helps. Banks going to keep it to end the quarter. And he is close to a first down. Looks like he has it. And that should end the first quarter, and it does. So the momentum swing started in favor of Savannah State, and now it's swinging in favor of the visiting Clark Atlanta. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll see if Clark Atlanta can tie things up. 14-7, SIAC football on ESPN. Stay tuned. Welcome back to live action here at Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State University. 14-7, the Tigers leading the Panthers, but the momentum swing is with the team in black and red with the football. James Red along with Tyrone Poole, two-time Super Bowl champion, proud graduate of the Fort Valley State University and Black College Hall of Famer, and Kinsey on the carry going deeper into Savannah State territory.
Yeah, this is what you want, James. You want that mixture. You got Kinsey going, got the running game going. Banks, he's making plays on his legs. And then you have Newsom. So really, Clark Atlanta has what they need as far as personnel. If the offensive line can hold up and everybody else do their job, they have an opportunity to slow this game down like they're doing. They're slowing it down, and they're mixing up the run with the pass, and this is a good mixture. This is a good recipe for another score. Again,
Banks
second
now.
and 2.
Oh, second and short. Banks taking his time, making an audible. Gonna throw it. And incomplete. This time pass intended for Vontavious Conley, just a freshman.
Yeah, and I see what you don't want to do. You don't want to rush. You don't want to rush. Now, by rushing, it doesn't give Banks an opportunity to see what the defense is doing, right? But when you take your time, you get the calls in, you're not rushing, you're not letting the play clock go down to 0. You're able to look, get everybody in position, look and see what the defense is in, and deliver a good ball. Right there on that last play, too much rushing.
Third down and short. Kinsey on the carry. He gets enough for the first down and more. Great second move there. Inside the 30, down to about the 27-yard line before he's finally brought down. But a good run there by Kinsey, and Kinsey is really showing up and showing out. Tackle made there by Hudson Primus.
Again, Kinsey kind of remind me of the running back in the Washington. Can I say the Washington Redskins days? Back in
the Washington football team.
Well, back in the day with the Washington Redskins, is the Washington football team, the Commanders now. But they used to have a running back, John Riggins. They crank up that diesel, crank up that diesel. Everybody's seen that, commercial. So I'm pretty sure Clark Atlanta saying crank up that diesel, which is Kinsey, get him going, and he goes, the offense goes. But great running by Kinsey, great play calling.
They give Kinsey a rest. They put in Gibbs. Keeping it is Banks, and Banks is knocked out of bounds, almost ran over the cheerleaders, but he's able to get about 7 yards.
And that is what an athletic quarterback can do for you. He can use his arm, use his legs. So you give the defense of those Tigers, they got too much to worry about. You got the running game from the running backs themselves, and then you got an elusive quarterback that nobody's really accounting for. And that is what happens, what we just saw. The quarterback gets outside of containment, picks up yards with his feet.
Second down, and call it 3. They're going to give it to Gibbs. Gibbs going to find some room on the outside. Gibbs inside the 10, down to about the 6-yard line. Great move by the junior, Jeremiah Gibbs.
Again, Savannah State, nobody setting the edge. That's why I appreciate the hustle, but you got to contain, you got to stay in your position. I was always told, just do your job. And when you try to do somebody else's job, you leave the corner open, just like Savannah State did right there, and you allow Gibbs to bounce outside and pick up big yards. Now, the Tigers' defense, somebody got to step up and make a play and say that we're not going to give up a touchdown. We're only going to give up a field goal.
Timeout is called by Clark Atlanta with 11:46 left to play in the opening half. The momentum is their way, but they obviously did not like what they saw, and they called a timeout because right now, a touchdown here and an extra point, they'll have a tie score. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll see if Clark Atlanta can punch it in or can Savannah State make a stop. Stay tuned. SIAC football right here on ESPN.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool Your School. We're powered by purpose.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Did you know cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself act. He knows now.
14-7 your score. Clark Atlanta trails by 7, but they're knocking on the door. James Red along with Tyrone Poole. And Tyrone, they called the timeout, and let's see what Clark Atlanta can do out of the timeout. Two backs in the backfield with Banks at quarterback. He'll stay under center. And he's going to throw it. Touchdown, Panthers. Great play to Jalen Hood, the 6-foot senior. And just like that, they're 1 point away from tying it up.
Yeah, as a defensive back, you got to know when the receiver's out there by himself that the play that you're going to get is probably going to be that fade route. Great play by Clark Atlanta. Throws it up to Hood. Banks throws it up to Hood. Hood able to see the ball, adjust to the ball, make the catch. That's why it's very imperative for a defensive back. In this day and age, you got to play the whole field. You got to look at the quarterback from the snap of the ball while being able to see the wide receiver in transition.
Fernando Lobo for the point after attempt. Kick is up, and it is good. 11:39 left to play in the opening half. It seems as though Clark Atlanta spotted Savannah State 14 points, and now they have all the momentum. We'll take a break. We come back. We got a whole new ball game. We're all tied up. SIAC football right here on ESPN. Savannah State came out on fire, scoring on their first two drives of 4 plays apiece. But it has been Clark Atlanta who has had the long, steady drives that have ended up in back-to-back touchdowns. First, 11 plays, 75 yards, and more recently, 7 plays, 64 yards. Fernando Lobo, once again, the kick for the Panthers. High but short kick, returnable from the 12-yard line. That's where Savannah State will try to bring it back. They have some room to run, and it still has some room to run, and it's all to the races, but stepped out of bounds. But a great return by Savannah State, and that's how you answer. Joseph Hampton, the reserve running back from Evans, Georgia, with the return.
You see it time in and time out, James. Team like the momentum that Clark Atlanta was playing up under, you kind of like lose sense of the fact that you're still in a football game, and that momentum, that energy doesn't carry over from one aspect of the football team to the other. That offensive momentum didn't carry over to the kickoff coverage team, and it allowed the Tigers to take advantage of a big run, which now you got to say, watching that play just happen, that Savannah State has given themselves an opportunity to take the lead and get something positive.
Hampton now getting that momentum. Harriet on the carry, but he runs into a wall of white shirts and is brought down, looks like right at the line of scrimmage. And Joshua Dorsaville right there on the tackle for Clark Atlanta.
Now, even though they had that big return, you got to give kudos to the Panthers defense because they did not allow Savannah State to take advantage of that momentum and possibly do more damage to the field position where they are.
Harriet again on the carry. Messiah Harriet gets maybe 2 yards. He's not afraid to go inside, but right now it's all mucked up with a lot of white shirts there.
Yeah, so many white shirts that they bent him backward on that particular play. So got an injured Panther player down, but that what happens when you get in that pile, man. There's so many things happen there.
Logan Daniels, the player that's down, slow to get up for Clark Atlanta. Injuries have been the bugaboo all season long. According to Coach Willie Slater, they lost a number of players in their game against Kentucky State, lost a few more against Fort Valley State, and he's really hasn't seen his team at full strength yet.
Yeah, that's why football is a game of depth. You have to be its next man up, next player up, because anything can happen at any time.
We'll take a break. We come back. We'll see if Savannah State can keep the drive alive. Tied at 14. Stay tuned.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines. We offer more choices as you plan your next adventure. With up to 60 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International, proud sponsor of Savannah State Athletics. Visit flysav.com.
Doing?
Learning that HBCUs are not only about networking, there's also secret handshakes.
That's cap. HBCUs do not have secret handshakes, right?
You mean this secret handshake?
Cool.
Wow, these guys are almost Cricket 5G fast.
We're kidding. There's no such thing as a secret handshake. Or is there?
Whoa, that's how you do it.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space. that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
The 39-yard kickoff return by Joseph Hampton. Savannah State finds himself in a 3rd and 7 in Clark Atlanta territory, trying to keep this drive alive. Adams looking to throws long and almost intercepted, but overthrows everyone on that play.
Yeah, great coverage downfield. Actually was able to get the quarterback outside the pocket, but usually when that quarterback scrambles, it's going to be more difficult because you cut off one side of the field. And by the quarterback scrambling to the right side, James actually cut off half of the field. Now you're only looking at one side of the field. If you got great coverage, then usually that's what's going to happen, overthrows. But nevertheless, Savannah State could not take advantage of that great return and now ends up punting the ball back to Clark Atlanta.
Lockhart handling all the kicking duties for the Tigers of Savannah State. Once again, the rugby-style kick kicks it sideways, and it's going to go out of bounds. Takes one extra bounce, inbounds, and it'll be down right at the 14-yard line, and that's where Clark Atlanta will take over.
Yeah, guys, you know, when you come down, you're talking, where did the ball go out at? But, again, Savannah State, they started out, jumped up on Clark Atlanta, 14 points. Of course, you're playing at home. That's what you want to do. You want to come out the gate fast. But Clark Atlanta understands what they're here to do. Settle down. Let's play our game. We know we can run with these boys. We can throw with these boys. And right now we're looking at a 14-14 game with Clark Atlanta trying to score again.
Banks and Kinsey still in the backfield. Give it to Kinsey. Kinsey finds a hole. It is quickly wrapped up, but he's able to lean forward to get a yard.
You know, typically, when you look at football games, James, first down is usually that running game, right? You run the ball. Most of the time, probably 80% of the time, you're going to see a team run the ball on first down. This is when you have to, pull out something different. Go outside your numbers, your stats, right? Because every coach, defensive coordinator, they're reading the tendencies of a team. And this is when sometimes you have to break your tendency. And this is when normally you get big plays to happen. So pay attention to that during the game. How many times did Clark Atlanta run the ball on first down?
I will definitely do that. 2nd down and 9. Keeping it on the ground, Kinsey. Wow, good sidestep, and he backs his way forward in order to get 3 more yards to bring up 3rd down and 5.
So usually 3rd and 5 is a sure passing down. You see Clark Atlanta coming in and out. Kinsey, when you see him go out of the game, see, this is where you got to keep him in the game because you got to always, in my opinion, show the threat of a run. But when you take him out of the game, I think that tells off for the defense what you're trying to do. But at the same time, you know, he may not be as good in the passing game. And if you got somebody who's a great 3rd down running back, then you still can run the ball, but you get better hands from your running back.
Jeremiah Gibbs in at running back, but it's going to be a quick pass and reception made over to David Martin, down by about a yard.
Yeah, this is where I believe Clark Atlanta was trying to get that catch and run. Get the ball into the receiver's hands, short routes, get the ball into their hands and let them catch the ball on the run and see if they can yards after the catch. But right there, Savannah State was able to tackle the catch and force Clark Atlanta to punt the ball back to their offense.
So now a game that we thought would be offense. Bad snap. The ball is loose, and it's going to be a special teams touchdown for the Tigers. A huge momentum shift there off of the bad snap. Hudson Primus there with the score. And just like that, the momentum swings back in favor of Savannah State.
Yeah, bad snap. over the punter's head. And in that situation scenario right there, great play by Savannah State to be aware and to fall on the ball, because sometimes guys can't fall on that ball when it's actually there. But as far as the punter for Clark Atlanta, situation like that, just try to kick the ball out the end zone. Give them the 2 points, and then we come back. But don't just allow them to get the ball, dive on it for a easy touchdown.
And a bad snap there, and Savannah State's going to try to make something happen, throw it into the end zone, and it is batted down. No good for the conversion.
Yeah, situations right there, they normally holler, fire, fire, fire. That when people hear fire, 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 that means that the ball, bad snap, and usually going to get a flat and a corner route.
Touchdown for Savannah State, but the point after attempt is no good. 20-14 is your score. When we come back, we'll see if Clark Atlanta can right the ship, because their punt special teams went really the wrong way. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN. Stay tuned. So Savannah State grabs the momentum back after a bad snap to the punter for Clark Atlanta, goes into the end zone, and Primus falls on top of it for the Tigers. Point after attempt is no good, but the homestanding Savannah State football team able to have a 20-14 lead with 7:47 left to play here in the opening half.
Yeah, a little bit of sloppy play on special teams. Let's see if Clark Atlanta can make it up.
From inside their own 5, trying to get some room to run. And once again, a dynamic return by Clark Atlanta. And the kicker, Lockhart, has to go and make the tackle.
Nice little time and set up. Return there by the returner. Nice play by the return team for Clark Atlanta.
So now we'll see if this defense can step up big and close the door on Clark Atlanta. But Clark Atlanta, in their 2 of their last 4 drives, have been able to get on the scoreboard.
And hopefully Savannah State defense can put a little pressure, maybe see a blitz, something to kind of get a little bit of momentum going here, kind of knock Clark Atlanta offense off beat, try to get a negative first down play.
First down, they give it to Kinsey. Kinsey able to get some positive yards. But he's picked up by Chima Nwoa, able to make the tackle.
Yeah, I'm taking notes. So the last series, first down run. This series, first down run. So if I'm the defensive coordinator, okay, after a while you're going to get a tendency. And then that's when you can call up a good defense that can really cause your opponents some problems. So hopefully Clark doesn't stay in that tendency of running the ball on first down every time.
Second down and 8. Banks, quick pitch and catch, reception made right on the line, maybe a half a yard short, but flags are thrown. And Kim Wimberly will get credit for the reception.
Now, I don't know if Clark Atlanta meant to have 3 receivers in the same spot, but you had 3 receivers that ran the identical route. Normally, you get spacing routes, right? Spacing routes means that you use the whole field, you space out the whole field, even though the routes are short. But on that particular play, luckily for Clark Atlanta, Savannah State, the defense didn't step in front of that pass, because usually when you have all your receivers in one spot, you got to throw through people. And Savannah State wasn't able to take advantage of that.
Gibbs on the carry. Nice spin move and second effort, knocking the helmet off defenders. And he's close to a first down. Gibbs only 5'7", 174, but he packs a wallop.
Yeah, Booker helmet came off right there, number 7. He got to come out the game. But, hey, Gibbs telling Booker, buckle up.
Now, when those helmets come off, is it just a matter of making that chin strap a little tighter?
Because several things. Sometimes, the guy comes in with a tackle to tackle the running back, the offensive player. Offensive player gets lower than the defensive player, and he comes up and goes through his helmet, and the helmet comes unbuckled. So, again, you just got snaps there on the side of those helmets.
Gibbs again, trying to find some room. And once again, this young man is not afraid to put his head down and try to run over folks. Once again, able to make the tackle.
Yeah, Gibbs, he don't care if it's number 7, Booker, or number 9 right there, Bryant. Gibbs saying, hey, if you're going to tackle me, you better bring your lunch pail, because I'm going to lower the boom. But, that's just a sign of a good running back. Right before you make contact, you deliver the blow. I remember Walter Payton, a great Hall of Fame running back. He said his coach told him to basically go down hard, deliver that thrust right before the tackle. And we saw that's how Walter Payton, God rest his spirit, played not only at Jackson State, but his whole entire career.
Keeping it is Banks. Banks now, got some room to run. Keeps his feet, able to get down to about the 19-yard line. Justin Gilbert right there to make the tackle.
Again, it's always tough for a defense to account for the quarterback. And right here, you're always going to see that Banks is always going to have an opportunity to make plays, especially when the running game is going. So when you can get Kinsey and Gibbs going, then it allows the play action to fake, which gives Banks an opportunity to use his legs.
Less than 4 minutes to play here in the opening half, and we have seen a pretty decent ball game here between two teams trying to make strides here in the SIAC. Banks going to keep it on the option, and he will keep it. Go for a loss. The ball is loose. But they say he's down, but there is a flag on the play.
Yeah, Banks going to run that option there to the short field. He has to release that ball sooner than what he did.
So if you're the defense, do you accept that holding penalty or do you decline it because you did get a tackle for a loss?
Well, I guess it does push them back, and I guess they're guessing that the fact that previous second and long that Clark has not done too well. Plus, you're pushing them farther and farther out of field goal range with the penalty.
So now second down and call it 15. Kinsey back into the backfield. Quick pass finds Kinsey. Kinsey skirting on the sideline, keeping his feet. Great move there by Kinsey into the end zone. Oh my goodness, DeQuan Kinsey just manned up and got the lead and tied this game up for Clark Atlanta.
I always go back and I say that touchdown is a result of the rules of taking physicality out of the game. You get a physical running offense. Great job by Kinsey. Great play by Banks, dumping the ball down. Kinsey running hard, running powerful. But as defensive players, you kind of take the aggressiveness out of the defense, and now you got guys out there making arm tackles. Now, I speak like this because I'm a defensive guy, right? I'm a defensive guy, so I don't like to see missed tackles. But nevertheless, great run by Kinsey. Puts another score up there for Clark Atlanta.
And just like that, Lobo with the point after attempt, and Clark Atlanta has the 21-20 lead with less than 3 minutes to play in the opening half, and you can see some of the frustration by Savannah State, and they're like, oh, I had him, but I didn't have him.
Yeah, you got to wrap up. The game is called tackle. Tackle, you got to wrap up. Even though they're taking the physicality out, you still can wrap up, and there was a lot of missed tackles on that play. Guys not wrapping up.
So now we've seen the momentum change and shift back in favor of Clark Atlanta. And if you're head coach Aaron Shelton, I know he's disappointed the way his team tried to make tackles on that play.
Yeah, definitely they are not happy with those missed tackles. Again, big plays are the ones that can hurt you. Missed tackles are the next thing that can hurt you. And then after missed tackles, you got mental errors. MEs, right? Those can hurt you. So big plays can hurt you, cause you to lose a football game. Missed tackles, what we just saw, will cause you to lose the game. And then mental errors, not snapping the ball right, miscues can get you beat. So we've seen pretty much all of that in this game here, and still yet it's a 1-point game.
And this one will go out of bounds, the kick by Lobo. So it's the option of Savannah State either to make them re-kick or take the penalty. Lobo's going to the sideline like, well, I think they're going to take the penalty. And they'll have the ball at the 35-yard line.
I think at this stage of the game, the guys have been out on the field, up and down. I think you make them kick it again at this stage of the game, right? Because they're tired. They're unlike in the first beginning of the game. Everybody's fresh, but here, we've gone through the first quarter, almost about to go into halftime. Make those guys run down again.
A.J. Brown in at running back for Savannah State. They give it to Brown. Brown this time makes a cut to the inside, able to get out to the 41.
Now, even though Savannah State, Brown picked up positive yards on that play. What I like, not only did they pick up positive yards for Savannah State, but Clark Atlanta, give them some props. They actually set the edge, and you said it out of your mouth. He cut it up. He turned it back in. That's how you set the edge.
Second down and 4. Adams looking deep, and once again can't find anybody. His intended receiver, Brent Carr, already with 1 touchdown reception, but after that, they've really bottled him up.
Yeah, great coverage by Denard, number 2 there. Another one of the guys that I called out. Denard has good talent. Again, the quarterback didn't set his feet, threw the ball off his back foot, Ball sailed on him. Brings up a 3rd and manageable, but still yet, you got to pick up some yards, 5 yards.
3rd down and 5. Quick pass, wow, could have been disastrous. Trying to find Brown out the backfield, but the defensive back was the only one that recognized it. Denard.
Again, Denard, Johnny on the spot in good play. Like the Panther was in a cover 2 on that side, and Denard protected the sticks. Invited the short throw. Quarterback errant pass, threw it in the ground. Now the Panthers have an opportunity to come back down and see if they can put some more points on the board.
Stephen Bivens back deep for Clark Atlanta. Another rugby-style kick. Bivens going to try to return it. He eludes one defender. Bivens trying to find some room to run, and this time good special teams wraps him up right at the 31-yard line. .204 left to play in the opening half. When this game started, I don't know about you, Tyrone, but I thought it was going to be a Savannah State rout because they scored 14 points so easily in 8 plays. We do have a flag on the play on the far side. It'll go against Clark Atlanta, but they'll still retain the ball.
Yeah, James, as you said, you know, if you come into this game and just looking at stats, let's just start right there. If you look at the stats, you would think that Savannah State would be running away with the game because they do have few players when it comes to the SIAC stats offensively. But that's not the case. Clark Atlanta, you look at them, the quarterback is not rated very high when it comes to the stats. Kinsey, who's been running the ball very effectively today, is not ranked in the SIAC. And you got Gibbs, he's been running the ball pretty well. So Clark Atlanta is playing like a team that basically should be a championship team, should have some stats. So let's see if they can keep that going, James.
Banks throwing, finds a receiver, Jeremiah Gibbs. Gibbs coming out of the backfield into Savannah State territory, and just like that, the running back does his job and gets them into scoring position. Player down for Savannah State. And that's Gary Davis, who made the touchdown-saving tackle. He had to take the running back out of the backfield, and I think he was surprised to see how fast Jeremiah Gibbs was after he caught that ball.
It's good to see the player get up and walk off. 28 Davis Jr. there. So good to see him walk off the field. But, yeah, James, like you were alluding to, what Clark Atlanta did there, they sent verticals up the field, put a lot of stress on Savannah State defense. The running back ran a vertical. Receivers outside ran a vertical. So the safety had to pay attention to the outside. Corners had to pay attention to the outside verticals. And you had the running back now getting a little bit of one-on-one with the linebackers and big play. So that's a nice play call by Clark Atlanta in this part of the game. 2 minutes left. You want to at least get that big play. I was expecting them to at least try a big play, but not that soon. But great call by the offense coordinator.
Quincy back in at running back. Banks with time. He's going to try to keep it. And he breaks the line of scrimmage, but not much else. But, he's holding that leg. And he is rolling on the ground. He's not a happy camper, but he's going to try to walk it off.
That's what they should tell Banks. Just sit down on the ground, sit down. Don't run off. Sit down on the ground, Banks, and let him come out and talk to you. And why do you want Banks to sit down on the field and take his time? Because it gives the offensive coordinator an opportunity to see who he wants to put in the game, give him an opportunity to call a better play. But when Banks walks off like that, it doesn't give the offensive coordinator enough time.
Heath Williams coming in at quarterback to transfer from Tennessee State. Has a good arm, throws it man down. No flag on the play. David Martin in. As a receiver, and he just fell down on it.
Now, the one thing I will say, if I am the offensive coordinator, I bring a fresh quarterback in. Let me just give him a little small throw, a short throw. Let's set up something in the flats, get his arm loose, let him get acclimated to the game. But again, Clark Atlanta, they are on Savannah State side of the 50, and let's see if they can pick up 8 yards and continue this drive going.
Third down and long. Heath Williams still in. Check. And Williams goes down, a sack. The ball is loose. One of the linemen pick it up. The ball is still loose. And now it is Savannah State football. Just like that, pandemonium on the field. But finally, the Tigers are able to finally come up with the loose ball. Tavari Bruton is the last one up with it.
Yeah, not only are you bringing in a quarterback with the momentum and the time of the game, halftime, you got Clark Atlanta, they got a lot of momentum going, and you bring a quarterback into a scenario like that, usually you're asking for trouble. That's why sometimes when a new quarterback comes in, they just run the ball. They run the ball, but here, Clark Atlanta had to throw the ball, tried to throw the ball. Now Savannah State has the football with an opportunity to try to go down the field.
Adams looking to throw. Throws high and almost intercepted. That could have been disastrous for Savannah State. Dylan Denard, once again, had a chance, but just a little short on that interception attempt.
You know, Adam, he's ranked 7th overall as a quarterback in the SIAC. His percentages of completion is not that good. He's only completing 46% of his passes. And we have seen several passes that he's thrown, that he's overthrown receivers, and that he needs to correct.
Adams going to keep it on the keeper, and he gets beyond midfield, puts his head down, dangerous to do that. And now we're going to have some pushing and shoving going on right there. Anthony Verba doesn't want his quarterback touched at all and lets everybody know it. Enough for the first down to move the chains, 28 seconds. But we do have timeout called by Savannah State.
Now, if you're Savannah State, you're huddling up. You got 27 seconds left. You got to at least try to get a big play. At least throw the ball downfield to at least try to get an opportunity for your kicker to at least put some points on the board. It would be nice to go into the halftime with a touchdown, but right now you need to draw up a play where you can pick up at least 20 yards to give yourself another opportunity to possibly then go to the end zone. If you're Clark Atlanta, you're telling the guys, do not give up a big play. Do not give up a big play. Do not give up anything behind you. Stay deep, as they would say.
Somebody's got to play center field, huh?
Somebody got to play center field. And don't allow the quarterback to get outside the pocket.
1st and 10 now in Clark Atlanta territory. We find the Tigers. Adams going to keep it and smartly go out of bounds. Jaden Adams, good with his feet, pretty good with his arm. So now with 22 seconds left, play clock has already started. They may have a chance for 3 more plays if they can move efficiently.
But giving up plays like that you giving up plays like that for time. That is manageable. But what you don't want to do is give up chunks. And that's what Clark Atlanta defense cannot do. And that's what Savannah State offense wants to do. Get a big chunk here.
Adams looking to throw. He slips. Throws it out of bounds. He just lost his footing. Looks like he saw something, was trying to get himself in a clear area to make the throw, but he just slipped.
It was looking downfield. Downfield routes were taken away, and that allowed the defensive line to put pressure. Now the pocket breaks down. He has to try to scramble. Great play by Clark Atlanta defense to contain and eliminate the opportunity for Savannah State to create a big play. Now it's 3rd down, and if they don't get into any big play, a big chunk of real estate here, they're going to now have to elect to either throw it or punt it on 4th down.
4 wide receiver set. Adams looking to throw. This time he's going to try to go with a flare route out to Harriet, but it looks like it possibly was tipped. And it'll be 4th down. 9 seconds left on the clock. Out of field goal range. So on 4th down, do you try to go for the first, call a timeout, and then throw the Hail Mary? Or do you try to go for the Hail Mary now?
I think actually you punt the ball. Just punt it and just try to pin them back and then go into halftime. Because Clark Atlanta is going to have an opportunity to throw the ball. At least one last Hail Mary for Clark Atlanta if Savannah don't get his first down.
Adams, and high, incomplete. And just like you said, they're giving it back to Clark Atlanta with 5 seconds left. So they do have one more shot. Pass was incomplete, intended for Julian Roberts. And now you see Coach really trying to encourage Jaden Adams to keep his emotions up.
Yeah, and I think now if you're Clark Atlanta, right, what do you do? What type of play you draw up? Well, if I'm the offensive coordinator, I'm going to draw up the hook and lateral. Hook and lateral. It's a safe play. You know they're going to give them that actual play.
I think they're going victory.
Going victory. All right, they're going to kneel it. But I said if it was me.
Very true. And the victory stands. So going into halftime, for those of you who thought when you first logged on and watched on ESPN Plus, oh, Savannah State's got it. They're up 14-0. But no, outscoring Savannah State 21-6 is Clark Atlanta, and they have the 1-point lead. We'll take a break. It is halftime here at Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State. Key SIAC battle, and it's Clark Atlanta 2 quarters away from notching their first win of the season. Standing in their way are the Tigers of Savannah State. SIAC football on ESPN Plus. Stay tuned.
What you say, man?
Almost even, 127 for Clark Atlanta, 118 for Savannah State. But it's also been those key plays when it comes to efficiency. Both teams pretty good on third down, but fourth down, when Savannah State tried to go for it on fourth, over on down, and it was Clark Atlanta that made him pay.
Yeah, I think if you take away, look at the game from the kickoff up until now. If you take away those big plays by Savannah State, take away those big plays, take away the big receiver screen, take away some of those big runs. Really, if you look at it like that, Clark Atlanta has dominated this game.
No doubt about it. When you take a look at possession, time of possession, it's been the Panthers 21 minutes, 32 seconds as opposed to Savannah State 8 minutes and 23 seconds. A lot of that had to do with their big play potential in the first quarter, only scoring 14 points on a total of 8 plays.
Yeah, hopefully, you go into halftime. If you are Savannah State coaching staff, offensively, you got to be telling the guys, look, guys, we got to find a rhythm. Right now, Savannah State has not found a rhythm on offense, and offense is all about rhythm. Defense, they got to come up with some kind of way to stop Kinsey. They got to stop Kinsey, and if Banks gets back into the game, then that adds another dimension that the Savannah State Tigers defense has to look out for. And if you are Clark Atlanta's offense, hey, guys, next man up. If Banks can't get in, then, hey, next man up. We got to keep this thing going. Kinsey, continue to run the ball. And let's not forget Newsom. He's a great wide receiver. Get the ball back into his hands, get him into the game. And as far as Clark Atlanta defense, don't give up the big play.
No doubt about it, and they have a number of athletes that have had career highs so far tonight just in the first half for Clark Atlanta. And for Savannah State, they started off on fire, but some bugaboos and not converting on fourth down has really done them in. But it is a one-point game as the Savannah State University Marching Band takes the field. But when you think about adjustments for Savannah State, they're not that far off when you talk about as far as being efficient. It's just a matter of executing their play.
Well, I tell you what, if you continue to give Kinsey 5.9 yards a carry, that is an adjustment that you have to make to plug up the holes, right? And if you continue to give him 5 yards a carry, if you give it to him on first down like Clark Atlanta has been doing, they will run the ball on first down. And if Kinsey or Gibbs, we saw Gibbs running the ball pretty effectively for them. If you're giving up at least 5 yards on first down, if you are Savannah State, there's no way you're going to win the third down battle. And talking about the football game, you're putting yourself behind even farther.
You're watching the Savannah State Marching Band. We will take a break. When we come back, we'll get you ready for the second half of action. A surprise. It's the Panthers, Clark Atlanta, with a 1-point lead against their in-state rival, Savannah State Tigers. SIAC football right here on ESPN+. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State University. The marching band for Savannah State taking center stage in the waning moments of the first half. And Tyrone, just to give everybody an update on what's going on around the league, try to give some fans who are fans of the SIAC some scores. Right now, Miles College taking on Arkansas Pine Bluff. They're all tied up at 21 apiece. And it was Miles College who had the upset victory over Alabama State just a week ago. Clark Atlanta, Savannah State right here, 21-20. Getting ready to get underway in a few moments. Kentucky State taking on Allen. Benedict with a huge win over Lane, 54-7. It was Albany State getting on the winning side against in-state rival Morehouse, 24-14. And it was Tuskegee continuing their winning ways, defeating Central State 27-21. Those are the scores that we have from around the SIAC. Also, good news, the SIAC will take part in the inaugural Florida Beach Bowl, which will be December 13th in Fort Lauderdale. A representative of the SIAC and a representative from the CIAA will take center stage on December 13th. They'll have 5 days of activities, culminating in the inaugural Florida Beach Bowl. And Tyrone, anytime you have postseason opportunities, it seems like that's a pretty good thing for the athletes.
Yeah, great thing for the athletes. Gives them more exposure, gives the athlete more exposure, gives the program more exposure, gives everybody more exposure. So that's a good thing whenever you can have post-season play.
Clark Atlanta won the toss and deferred, so now they'll get the ball back with a 1-point lead. Kenneth Lockhart will handle the kicks as he's done all night long for the Tigers of Savannah State. And it's a returnable ball inside the 10, and here comes Savannah State on the outside. A good return, brought out to about the 35-yard line. That's where the Panthers will take over. Flag comes in very late after the forward progress was stopped, so we'll see what the call will be.
Well, I tell you what, Clark Atlanta's coming out trying to set the tone with that return. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens here with the flag. The referees, they get together, huddle up. You ever wonder if they ever say, hey, what are we going to go eat after the game?
I think they're so well prepared, they already know where they're going. So it'll be added on, and it'll be positive yards now for Clark Atlanta. And it looks like Jaleel Calhoun is the culprit of that play. And he may have to sit some time on the sideline after that one.
Either way, it's not good for a start of the second half for Savannah State. You just gave not only Clark Atlanta a big return, but you just gave them extra yards. So this is where Savannah State defense is going to have to step up and, as we would say, put out the fire. And if you're a Clark Atlanta fan, hopeful, you got Banks back into the game, and with the running game of Kinsey, and they get the ball to Newsom, and just keep, as the old Hank Stram would say, keep matriculating the ball down the field.
There you go. All right, we're ready to go. Ball is at the 47-yard line of the Panthers. Banks still back in at quarterback. And he's going to be found out pretty early on that handoff. That really goes nowhere for Kinsey. And now we see an inspired Savannah State defense.
Yeah, I think Banks wanted to keep that ball, and you had Kinsey who actually was trying to hold on to the ball, and that's the thing with that RPO. You had that play action like that. The quarterback is trying to read the end, and if that end crashes, he's going to pull the ball back out of the running back's gut and keep it. But on that case right there, looked like Kinsey wanted to keep it, and Banks wanted to run with it. That's why you saw Banks on the ground.
5-yard loss, second down, 15. Quick pass in and out of the hands of Newsom.
Yeah, Newsom got to catch that ball. As the old saying goes, if it hits your hands, you got to catch it. And he's the top receiver for Clark Atlanta, so you don't expect Newsom to have those types of errands in far as catch the ball errors.
3rd down and long now for Clark Atlanta, and this is actually reminiscent of how they started their first drive to start the game. It really wasn't a whole lot going on.
Yeah, but you can't do that with a tight game, 20-21. You're in the second half, so there is no other half after this half. So you got to start hot. Hopefully they'll be able to pick up a first down here.
And this time, wow, ball gets loose. And it looks like it will be Savannah State football.
Yeah, Savannah State came with a blitz, actually put pressure on Banks. Everybody was covered up downfield. Ball comes out.
Now, it is a player for Clark Atlanta who recovers it, but the initial sign from the referee was it was first down Savannah State, but no, it was recovered by David Howard. So now it's a punting situation, 4th and long.
Got a little bit of movement on the line.
And everybody's point.
Like this may go against Clark Atlanta.
That'll push them back 5.
And, you know, that kind of hurts you when you don't have that kicker, like we talked about, that punter. You don't have that traditional punter, the one that can hang that ball up in the air, get it deep enough, hang it up. Here, Savannah State should get some good return yards, opportunity to get good field position.
Almost blocked, but a good punt, and it will take a Clark Atlanta bounce. And wow, good open field tackle there. And great job, Evan Wynn on the tackle. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll see if Savannah State can make something happen. There is a flag on the play. When we come back, we'll see what the flag is. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN. Stay tuned.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
HBCUs are anchored by legacy. They nurture the talent and determination of their students and prepare them for a bright future. The Home Depot's Retool Your School program has and still believes in the excellence of HBCUs, committed not just in speech, but through the revitalization and upgrades of the campuses these students call home. Building, planting, tilling the dream, all hearts and countless volunteers on the ground. Retool your school. We're powered by purpose.
Inspired defensive performance by Savannah State gives them the ball back. 1st and 10, first possession for the Tiger offense. Running the option, and wow, great job of trying to sniff that one out and making a tackle is Timothy Jones, the senior strong safety for Clark Atlanta.
Yeah, Timothy Jones, he could have, if he'd have kept running, he probably could have gotten that ball in midair while the ball was in air flight to the receiver on the option pitch, and he could have had an easy score. But, hey, he wanted to make sure he had the tackle. But great read and reaction by Mr. Jones.
2-yard loss, 2nd down and 12. Call it 13. Adams trying to make up for that one, and wow, does a great job sidestepping and making a play before he gets knocked out of bounds. And Kalon Howard loses his moment and has to go to the side for a play.
You see the play, great kick out, got to protect the sideline. Adam picks up as many yards as he can for Savannah State. Puts them at a manageable 3rd and short.
Isaiah Harriet still in at running back for Savannah State. Harriet. And he gets stonewalled by Elijah Barber. And Barber brings him down, but it looks like it's enough for the first down. They'll move the chains.
This is what that last play was basically a mano versus me versus you. Mano y mano.
Yes, sir.
Mano y mano.
Ball out to the 35-yard line. Under 11 minutes left to play in the 3rd quarter. Give to Harriet again. Nice cutback by Nazea Harriet. Harriet now trying to break a tackle. He's finally brought down, but not before he can get into Panther territory. Nazea is saying, please feed me some more. Give me some more. Now they're bringing him off the field.
I know, right? And again, great read. Clark Atlanta does set the edge, but they have no room for the cutback. Harriet uses every ounce of his power to keep the ball moving.
Short run by Deshaun Mitchell. Brings up 2nd down and short. They're trying to go fast, trying to pick up pace. Once again, another quick throw and catch over to Deshaun Mitchell. And the pace seems as though it's working for him, Tyrone.
Yeah, well, Savannah State has made it up in their mind, the game being 21-20. I'm pretty sure the head coach told them, hey, we're not out of it. We just need to come back and just play the type of football that we know how to play. And Savannah State is pretty good at running the ball. They're in the middle of the pack of running the ball between all of the teams in the SIAC. So go back to their bread and butter, run the ball.
Going to keep it on the ground. Joseph Hampton. Hampton, 10-5, touchdown, Tigers. 29-yard touchdown scamper for Joseph Hampton. Great job by Hampton.
Yeah, great job by Hampton. Again, Savannah State, they are averaging about 75 yards a game per run. And when you look at Clark Atlanta, they are giving up 177 yards a game. So actually, if you're Savannah State, you want to go back to where Clark Atlanta weakness is in running the ball. And we saw that entire drive. It was nothing but run.
They're going to fake it, try to go for two. Trying to find somebody open. Going to try to run it into the end zone. Touchdown. Check that. The conversion is good. And it's the holder, Demike Colbert, who's able to get the 2-point conversion to expand the lead to 7 points. Great play. We'll take a break. We come back. We'll see if Clark Atlanta can answer. SIAC football on ESPN+. Just like that, the tables turn. Touchdown and a 2-point conversion. Savannah State has a 7-point lead once again. Last time they had a 7-point lead, it was in the second quarter as 21-6, they were outscored by Clark Atlanta. But now the momentum shifts in favor of the homestanding Tigers. Squib kick goes to the up back, and he brings it out to the 40. So I don't know if that was planned to try to catch them off guard, but they were prepared for it.
Yeah, I don't understand that sweep kick right there. You go ahead and you kick the ball deep, let your coverage team go down, pin them inside the 30, 25, but actually you're giving them, Clark Atlanta, good field position. So maybe the special team coach knows something that we don't know. But either way, Clark Atlanta has a good start. And let's see if Savannah State can come back and create some more blitzing like they did previously, put some pressure on the quarterback, and see if they can get some turnovers.
Good field position for the Panthers, trying to go inside. And they're able to get 2, possibly 3 yards. Good second effort there by Kinsey.
Yeah, it was a good read by Savannah State's linebackers. Soon as the ball was handed off, they read their keys and they were filling the gaps, but somewhere Kinsey squeaked through and picked up some yards. Picked up at least 3 yards.
Andrew Banks, just a sophomore from Mays High School in Atlanta, doing a masterful job tonight with the Clark Atlanta offense. Their best offensive output so far this season. Great job to get away. Banks trying to get over to the sideline, but he's eventually brought down, but enough for the first down to move the chains.
He's still favoring that injury from previously. Banks gets up hobbling. Hopefully he's able to stay in the game.
And Tavar Bruton, you see right there, he's the leading tackler on the team, and they don't want him on the sideline right now with the Clark team that's already in Tiger territory.
And we've seen Clark Atlanta again come out on first down and run the ball. Let's see if they try to change up their tendency, try to catch Savannah State sleeping, catching Savannah State in a run defense instead of a pass defense.
4 wide receivers again. They fake to Kinsey. Get it over to Newsom. Now Newsom trying to create. He bounces around like a pinball and able to get some positive yards, but there's a flag at the 49-yard line of Savannah State.
You know, even though that is a pass, a receiver screen, actually is a result of an extension of the run. It's just a short pass, get the ball into the receiver's hands, and let him run the ball. Kind of like that old West Coast Bill Walsh offense.
There you go.
Short routes, extension of the run, and just let them try to run with it. And Jerry Rice, another HBCU great. Couldn't nobody ever catch Jerry from behind.
Holding against the Panthers, moves them back and nullifies all that hard work.
Now, this is the opportunity play call. What do you probably try to call here? Screen, running back screen, again, wide receiver screen maybe, you know, something to kind of pick up a little bit of the yards that were lost.
I think they may try to go inside. Give it to Kinsey, and he gets some positive yards. Not all of the penalty yards back, but gets some of it back.
Again, Kinsey, he's been the workhorse for Clark Atlanta. Again, he was averaging 5.9 yards. Anytime you allow a running back to get 5.9 yards, James, you're going to have a long night for your defense. Plus, you know, your defense, Savannah State's defense has been out there on the field an awful lot. So at what point will they get tired and allow Clark Atlanta to get some easy, big plays?
Second down and long. Could this be the play where they give up a big one?
Come with a blitz.
Banks got room to run. A lot of room. And he goes back into Tiger territory. This young man has played his best football this season tonight.
Yeah, again, you see Savannah State come with a corner blitz off the top. Clark Atlanta picks it up. You see Banks actually run away from the blitz with his feet. Picks up positive yards, at least gives Clark Atlanta a fighting opportunity to pick up a first down.
So instead of third and long, it's third and manageable. We'll call it 7. He needs to get beyond the 40-yard line to about the 38 to make sure he has enough for the first.
To even get Clark Atlanta back into this position was great.
Banks, once again, on the keeper. Good stutter step right there, and he gets enough for the first down, goes out of bounds.
Got a flag on the play.
And there's a flag on the far side all the way over near Clark Atlanta's bench at the 45.
Use it when that flag is thrown before the snap of the ball, uses false start. Get them arms to flipping over one another. That's not it.
And once again, self-inflicting wound moves them back to third and long.
Yeah, you don't want to do that. It's not like Clark Atlanta has an explosive offense. Their offense is built to get yards here and there, really not built to go downfield, pick up a big chunk of yards.
3rd down and 11. Banks can't find anybody, and he's off to the races again, trying to get to the 1st down marker, but he is bulldog brought down late, and Gary Davis Jr. able to make the tackle.
Yeah, if I'm Clark Atlanta, hey, go for it. Your defense is playing very good. You're too far out of field goal range. Hey, dial up a play. Get Kinsey involved. Get Newsom involved. They got some options on offense, and then Banks, the way he's been running the ball, I would say roll him out. Maybe roll him out and run away from the defense, and let him either use his legs or have a 2-man route.
4th down, they're going to go for it. Banks, quick pass. He finds Gibbs, and Gibbs gets enough of the 1st down. Incredible way of overcoming self-inflicting wounds.
Yeah, from where they started out with a penalty, made it 1st and 20, and then Kinsey runs and picks up almost half of the yards back, and then Banks uses his legs, and now they got Gibbs 24 right there in the flats. I don't think Savannah State has covered the flats yet. I think they're still trying to cover the flats. So again, this is the time, James, as the offensive coordinator, you go and you find out what has your opposition not being able to do this whole game. And I think Kinsey has been a big part. Gibbs has been a big part in just attacking the flats.
Kinsey, good stutter step again, and he's able to turn the negative into a positive, falling forward. May have gotten 1 yard, but he was looking at about a 3-yard loss.
Now, what would happen if they put Gibbs and Kinsey in the backfield at the same time? Have we seen that yet?
Not yet. Second down and 10. Ball at the 35 of the Tigers. They're up 7, but Clark Atlanta is looking to try to tie it up or take the lead. Banks getting pressure. Eludes one defender, but not another. A sack. Pierce Brown with the sack, his first sack of the season, and that pushes him all the way back to midfield.
Yeah, Banks has to understand right there. You see he's looking to throw the ball quick. Here, it's not open. Receiver taking a little too long to throw the ball. The protection is designed for a quick throw. And if that quick throw is not there, he has to understand he either has to tuck it and run, or that first read has to be there. And unfortunately, the first read wasn't there. Offensive pass blocking broke down. Good play by Savannah State. Negative yards, making a 3rd and long.
3rd and long. Looks like a broken play. Ball gets away from Andrew Banks, and he falls on top of it. And now what appeared to be an extension of a drive is eating up a lot of clock. And now for Banks, it was a failed opportunity. He's trying to plead his case, but I think it's too little too late.
Yeah, great opportunity for Clark Atlanta. Didn't manifest itself. And actually looks like it was supposed to be some type of fake there. But Gibbs actually thought it was another type of play and ended up disastrous for Clark Atlanta.
Lobo to punt. Brown back deep. Fair catch called. And with less than a minute to play here in the 3rd quarter, it's still 28-21. We'll take a break. We'll come back to see if the Tigers can extend their lead or can Clark Atlanta get the momentum back. SIAC football on ESPN. Stay tuned.
Did you know HBCUs are a great place to network? Did you know Cricket has a great network with speedy 5G and is a proud supporter of HBCUs?
Mia, everybody already knows that.
Dante, did you know this is an A and B conversation? So you need to see yourself out. He knows now.
With Academy Sports and Outdoors, you can take outdoor fun to a whole new level with just the touch of a button. Because there's so much to discover on the Academy app. Create your dream outdoor living space that gets the whole family out there spending time together. Master new recipes with just the right amount of heat and the perfect spice or seasoning. And give the kids even more ways to play. Great times are waiting. Download the Academy Sports and Outdoors app today.
At Savannah Hilton Head International, you can choose from 11 different airlines. We offer more choices as you plan your next adventure. With up to 60 daily nonstop departures and over 30 nonstop destinations, Savannah Hilton Head International gives you more choices for a travel plan that fits your needs. Savannah Hilton Head International, proud sponsor of Savannah State Athletics. Visit flysav.com.
Welcome back to Theodore A. Wright Stadium here in Savannah, Georgia, on the campus of Savannah State University. James Verrett along with Tyrone Poole, the waning moments of the third quarter. Oh, they try a reverse, and they're able to get some positive yards out of it, but a good open field tackle there by Clark Atlanta. And looks like the player may have ultimately paid the price in Shalon Howard, but also it was a player for Savannah State that's limping off the field in Demiki Colbert.
Well, hopefully both of those players will be okay and get back into the game. But a big pickup, first down, has been very important for Savannah State and Clark Atlanta. Both teams elected to at least try to run the ball on the ground and picking up positive yards.
And that ends the third quarter. And we have a good ball game going on. The homestanding Tigers of Savannah State get the momentum back, regain the lead, 28-21. But we'll see who can put it away and put it on ice. SIAC football right here on the coast, right here on ESPN. ready to start the fourth and final quarter of regulation. 7-point lead for Savannah State over Clark Atlanta. Tigers trying to keep it on the ground. Has enough for the first down. Nazea Harriet on the carry.
Yeah, I think the team that makes at least 2 big plays in this fourth quarter is going to be the team that's going to come out of this game with a victory. Now, we've seen Savannah State do it early in the first quarter, but haven't seen them do it lately. So Clark Atlanta had a little bit of momentum, lost it. Let's see if they can get it back.
Going to keep it on the ground and try to make something happen. Joseph Hampton on the carry.
Again, first down, Clark Atlanta defense, really not that strong against the run. They're giving up too many yards on first down. And those guys up front, I'm telling you, that D-line, they do get tired. And I think offensively, the offensive linemen, they kind of like this type of game because all they do is lay on those off defensive linemen and let the running back just run between the gaps.
Spoken like a true defensive player. The offensive guy and just lay on. Hampton again on the carry, trying to find some room to the outside. And he's able to find some, but not all of the green pastures he was seeking.
Again, they move the sticks. That's the most important thing for Savannah State. They are methodically running the ball. And you can look at some of the Clark Atlanta defensive linemen. Hands on the hips. And the closer you are to that ball, the more you're going to see those guys with their hands on the hips because it takes a lot of energy to play between the guard and the tackle. And Savannah State's taking advantage of that first down.
Hampton trying to hold on to the football, but he looks like he may take a yard or two loss on that play. Zavatre Brown in on the tackle for the Panthers.
Now, that is what I mean by a big play. A big play could be anything from interception, a fumble, but also big plays are when you limit the offense, any production, any yards on first down. And that was a big play, big win for Clark Atlanta's defense. Now it makes it 2nd and 10 kind of throws and takes Savannah State out of that 2nd and short, 3rd and short. So big play by Clark Atlanta.
Trying to make a throw, going to keep it and take a loss. But he slides down, but he did take a loss on that play.
And see, that's that domino effect again. You got to make plays on first down. First down allows the offense to try to pass the ball, and that's not what Savannah State has been good at today. So now you give a great opportunity for Clark Atlanta defense to get off the field here and force Savannah State into a punting situation. So 3rd and with about 14 yards, about 13 yards here. So Clark Atlanta cannot give up any big plays.
Third and long. Adams looking to throw. He's going to throw it, but he has to throw it out of bounds because he had so much pressure on it.
You had to be careful. As a defensive lineman, you got to be careful because they are protecting the quarterback these days. And Adam right there, he sprints to his left. Defensive guy, you got a bead on him, but it's almost like, hey, you just got to let him throw the ball. Don't try to knock him down. That's an easy flag these days.
3 and out for the Clark Atlanta defense, and they should give the ball back to their offense in pretty good field position. But that'll be up to Kenneth Lockhart, who will do the punting for the Tigers.
And he hasn't punted the ball very well today.
And it will take a Savannah bounce inside the 40 down to about the 33. We'll take a break. When we come back, we'll see if Clark Atlanta's defense will propel that momentum to their offense as they trail 28-21. SIAC football right here on ESPN plus. Yeah, it is getting chilly. Using their smartphones to get a little extra view. Possibly some parents trying to take pictures of their children that are out there on the field. Fourth quarter, Clark Atlanta now trailing by 7. They're going to give it to Kinsey. Wow, look at Kinsey. First down and more. And just like that, they're back in Savannah State territory. Daquan Kinsey with a spectacular running performance.
Yeah, Savannah State showed the blitz. Actually showed a little too early. Great pickups by the offensive line for Clark Atlanta. Look at there. You can drive a bus through that hole right there. Great job by Kinsey. Picks up big play. Now, what is a big play in the running game? A big play in the running game is considered, in my book and what I've been told, any run, one particular single run over 15 yards. And that was a big play by Clark Atlanta. Like I said, James, the team that can make the biggest plays is going to end up winning this game.
This time, the defense finds out the running game, and they just shut the door rather quickly.
Yeah, again, this is where you got to mix it up. You came back with a big run. Now let's come back and catch them off guard, and let's mix it up and let's throw the ball. So, again, kudos to the defensive coordinator for Savannah State. Had a run blitz. Actually caught Clark Atlanta in the run game, and now Clark Atlanta has lost a little bit of that momentum that they got with that big run from Kinsey. Now let's see if they go to a pass, which if I'm Savannah State, I'm going to call a pass defense in this situation here. But Clark Atlanta has been running the ball. You don't know what you're going to get from them, like Forrest Gump.
Banks throwing it long, and he overthrows the defender and the receiver, Newsom, who was the intended receiver.
It was a pass, James, like I called it. But if you're going to throw a pass, you should at least, this would have been a good time for have a deep ball throw mixed in with short intermediate routes. Do the play action. Get Savannah State thinking you run the ball with the play action. You've been running the ball all day, Clark Atlanta. Do a play action and then get them linebackers sucked up and then throw some intermediate routes behind them.
Third down and 12. And this time Banks is hit as he throws, and it's incomplete. Defense once again stepping up for Savannah State. And that was Pierce Brown who forced the ball to go awry by Banks.
Again, check it out. See, no play action there, James. No play action. They just dropping back. This is not what Clark Atlanta has been doing all game. They have been running the ball. So if anything, if you're going to pass the ball, have some type of play action in it. There they just did just a drop back, a typical drop back, but from the gun, quarterback, no type of play action. Didn't fool nobody on defense.
Punting situation, and they do get the punt off. Fair catch, and it is caught at about the 16-yard line. We'll take a break. 9:13 left in regulation. Savannah State up 28-21. SIAC football on ESPN Plus. And you see the student body for Savannah State to support their homestanding Tigers, trying to get their second win of the season and their first win in SIAC play. Adams with the ball. He's going to run it, and he's able to get about 4 yards on the carry.
Now, Clark Atlanta has been the most effective when they have limited Savannah State on positive yards on first down. There wasn't the typical first down play that they had last series where they stopped Savannah State for negative yards. Here, Savannah State comes up and picks up big yards on first down. The last time Savannah State did that, they kept moving the ball down the field on Clark Atlanta. See if that happens again.
Second down. Running on the inside is Nasaya Harriet, and Harriet gets enough for the first down to move the chains.
Again, you got it's set. Everything is set up on first down. If Clark Atlanta wants to get off the field, they have to not give positive yards to Savannah State's offense on first down. Savannah State, on the other hand, continues to pick up positive yards on first down. They continue to move the chain down the field, and with the lead, they're also eating up the clock.
Throw and catch, reception made, good catch there by Deshaun Mitchell enough to move the chains and get them closer to midfield.
Yeah, Adam did enough to get that ball to the receiver. Again, nice play call. You serve them up a lot of run plays, Now the defensive coordinator got to come with a blitz to try to stop it. And now you throw the slant in behind, move the ball up the field. Great play call, great mixture, run, pass.
Ball now at the 43-yard line. Give it to Hampton. And Hampton is close to midfield, out to about the 46-yard line.
Now, Clark Atlanta's going to have to do something to stop this run on first down. If they cannot stop the first down of plays from Savannah State, then Savannah State is just going to move the ball down the field and eat the clock up. It's already 6:47 left in the game, and the clock is going to continue to run. This is where, on this play here, Clark Atlanta has to come with a blitz, something to stop the run, but also protect the pass.
2nd down and 4. Give it to Hampton again. Hampton gets to the line of scrimmage, and he's going to try to push his way forward. The student body push doesn't work that well against the Clark Atlanta defense.
Now, what do you do here? I think you come with a blitz. You got to come with your run-stopping blitz, and you got to tell your corners, people in the secondary, hey, putting you out there on the island. Come with a zero call, a zero coverage. Everybody's going to be in man-to-man, but at least you know, based off of past history, Savannah State is going to try to run the ball. But here, I think you got to sell out. You got to bring a run stopper.
Adams going to keep it, trying to spin and back his way in. And wow, this is going to be close. He gets beyond midfield. Depending on where they set his forward progress, they'll set it at the 48-yard line of Clark Atlanta, and that may be enough for a first, depending on the spot. But we do have a player down in Kyle Frazier, but he quickly gets up. They'll have to stop the clock to measure. They'll have to bring the chains out. And they'll call it first down without the measurement. And you see Willie Slater over there on the far side. He is not happy at all. He does not like the spot, and he thinks that the spot is bad, and he wanted a measurement, and he's letting the official know about it.
Yeah, Willie Slater, he's been around enough that he knows that these referees know him, and this is the time of the game that, you know, any little inch that's given positively or negatively is not good for them.
And the clock continues to run. Less than 5 minutes to play. Now the clock is stopped. Flag. Now could have that been some gamemanship on Willie Slater's part to distract everybody while the play clock was running?
Well, hopefully he did enough distraction to where this defensive line and the front seven, which are the linebackers and defensive linemen, they can do something to limit Savannah State's first down attempts per yard. Right now, the penalty does help them. Now, if Clark Atlanta can come up with some type of nullifying any positive yards here by Savannah State, this is a big win for their defense.
And that ball is low and incomplete.
Now, that is a big play for Clark Atlanta, because now what it's going to do is going to force Savannah State to go into some type of pass option. Either get the quarterback on a kind of like on the edge and let him either run or throw. But nevertheless, they put Savannah State in a situation where they have to throw the ball. Because if they run the ball and get no positive yards, then it's going to be a long third down. So I'm expecting some type of pass situation situation here from Savannah State.
Adams can't find anybody. He's trying to find some room to run. Goes to the outside. And he picks up some yards, but not enough for the first.
Again, that's how important that run by Adam is. Very imperative. You set the edge. You got to contain the quarterback. We take a look here. The edge is lost. Lost right there. 48 for Clark Atlanta. Where lost the edge, allowed Adam to get to the side, pick up a manageable, now third down for Savannah State. That's how important setting the edge is, James.
Key third down here. They've got Brett Carr wide open. Nobody's covering him on the far side for Savannah State. Going to try to keep it. Option. And good job there by Adams, able to stretch forward and possibly get the first down. And Cameron Ivey right there on the tackle. It's first down. They'll move the chains, and the clock continues to run.
Yeah, Cameron Ivey, he's seventh in the SIAC in tackles. So he's one of those tackling machines for Clark Atlanta. But again, Savannah State gets the first down. They keep the ball rolling, the clock rolling. So again, Clark Atlanta got to dig deep into the pockets, and somebody got to come up with a big first down play here.
Run again. And Harriet doesn't go anywhere very fast. Jerome Wallace right there to bring him down for Clark Atlanta.
And at this point also, I think if you're Clark Atlanta, you do take a timeout. That's what they're taking, a timeout. You got to give your defense a rest.
2:45 left to play, and Savannah State with a couple of first downs, they could put this game on ice. As you see, Nazea Harriet will take a timeout. We'll see if Clark Atlanta can make a big play, or will Savannah State run out the clock. You're watching SIAC football on ESPN+. Stay tuned. A little bit over 2 minutes to play here in regulation. And Savannah State doing what they need to do to try to put this game on ice. Adams still with the ball. He's going to try to run it. Gets across the line of scrimmage, and he is quickly wrapped up and brought down. Timothy Jones there on the tackle.
This is what they call the game is on the line with this play right here. If Savannah State gets this first down, like you said, they could probably put it on ice. So look like you got another timeout by Clark Atlanta. You got to dial up your number one play, James. Your number one play, you got to go zero coverage. You got to have all-out blitz. That's what I'm calling if I'm the defensive coordinator.
Because if they stop it here, they'll have a chance to try to tie the game or take the lead.
I would be surprised if I did not see Clark Atlanta come with some type of all-out blitz. You got to hit every gap, the A gap, the B gap, the C gap, the D gap. And you know they're going to come with some type of where the quarterback has to be factored into the play as well, because Savannah State has done that. They have faked the ball to the actual running back, and they have allowed the quarterback, Adams, to use his legs. So at the end of the day, this is the one where Keith Jackson back in the days, whoa, Nelly.
Oh, Nelly.
This is the one right here where, hey, if you're a defensive captain for Clark Atlanta, you're telling everybody, come on, man, we got to sell out. We got to go. We got to get this one. This is the play right here.
3rd down and 4. Hampton back in the backfield. They give it to Hampton. Hampton gets enough for the first down. Oh, it depends on the spot. They'll give him his forward progress, and looks like the referee is saying, no, he's maybe a half a yard short. So it'll be a 4th down situation. Now Harriet coming back in. They do call him short, so it'll be 4th and 1. And the offensive linemen are saying, let's go for it, let's go for it. They're letting the clock run. Play clock.
If I'm Clark Atlanta, I'm calling a timeout to stop the clock. I understand.
They're trying to save one. They're trying to save one for the offense, huh?
Yeah, but you're allowing them to run the clock down and.
We'll take a break with them. When we come back, the last 1 minute, 42 seconds. Can Savannah State put it on ice, or will Clark Atlanta have one more shot on offense? Stay tuned. Fourth down and 1 for Savannah State. They're up by 7. This may be the play of the game. Going tight. They're going to try to push forward. And it looks like he has enough for the first. And those big linemen for Savannah State said they wanted to go for it. Coach let them have it. And they produced. Now it's just a matter of running the clock out for Savannah State and holding on to the football.
That's the key. Hold on to the football. Anything can happen. But at this point, you take a couple of knees, and that clock is just going to run itself down. So get in that victory position and just take a knee.
Well, for Clark Atlanta, their team really showed up today and surprised a lot of people, even a lot of their fans, because they did show a lot of fight. Victory formation for Adams. You'll have to kneel it one more time. And we've got some talking going on there. Looks like the center, Stephen Wakefield for Savannah State. Final timeout call. And you see Brent Carr talking to the official. Carr, 6'3", 210. And for the offense, for the defense for Clark Atlanta, they really don't have anything to bow their head down about. They really played a very good game.
Again, you can go back to the first quarter. Go back to the first quarter of this game. The big plays that Clark Atlanta defense gave up, I think really, you take those big plays away, I think this could be a possible win for the Panthers. But nevertheless, you got to play 60 minutes, as they say. You got to play all 4 quarters. And there are always a few big plays here and there throughout the game that really determines whether you win or lose. And I'm pretty sure when Clark Atlanta and Willie Slater and all of the Panther players and coaches go back and look at this film, they're going to see that they had some opportunities, and they're going to see that, hey, they're not a 0-3 team. They are a very good 0-3 team. And Savannah State, on the other hand, they're going to go 2-1, and they have to look at themselves and say, hey, we need to get better. Yes, we won this game, but we need to get better.
And we've got some exchanging of pleasantries between the center and a couple other folks.
And you can't be truly satisfied again if you're Savannah State. It wasn't like you came out and you manhandled the game. Yes, you won the game because, wins are hard to come by. But if you're Clark Atlanta, again, maybe you pull out a Denny Green. They are who we thought they were. And we let them off the hook.
And for the defense for Savannah State, they pitched a shutout in the second half.
They pitched a shutout, yes. They actually got the playbook from Willie Slater, the offensive coordinator, and said, hey, they run the ball 99.9% on first down. They play our best run defense, and that's why the Tigers are coming off the field, jumping up and down with a victory.
And Savannah State gets their first win of the season in the SIAC. They improved to 2-1. And for Willie Slater and Clark Atlanta, they are still in search of their first victory of the year. 28-21 is your final here from Theodore A. Wright Stadium on the campus of Savannah State University. Beautiful night for football. And if you're a Tiger fan, it's a beautiful night to celebrate. Tyrone, your final thoughts on tonight's game?
I think we saw a well-played game between two teams that are rivalry. We've seen Clark Atlanta, Savannah State play for so many years, and these young kids, opportunity to go out there and play. And for the seniors, this is going to be their last time playing each other, and last time they walk across with sportsmanship right there, shaking hands. And for the freshmen and sophomores and juniors, then they're probably telling those guys, hey, we'll see you guys again next year.
Should be an interesting rest of the season for Savannah State. And for Clark Atlanta, They're still trying to find a way to get win number one. For Tyrone Poole and for the rest of our crew, I'm James Rhett. We tell you farewell from Savannah, Georgia, right along the Atlantic coast, as the Tigers start off SIAC play 1-0 and improves to 2-1, and Clark Atlanta still searching for win number one. But tonight is the night for the Tigers, 28-21 over the Panthers of Clark Atlanta. We thank you for joining us, and good night.